No, not at all. What should I do? There's what we expect to happen. But I want our people to be very calm. I want Biafra land to be calm and peaceful. Calm and very, very peaceful. We are fighting to defend our people. Not to kill them. Yes. We are fighting to defend them. That's why I'm here. Yes. And we'll continue to do so until we get victory. Yes, sir.
Fortunately, we don't reason like that. Anybody thinking that Igbo presidency 2023 will stop us? What we want is Biafra, and what we're going to get is Biafra.
Declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election. Instead, Biafra will not come in 2023. We will burn down Nigeria, and still Biafra will come. Do you understand me? When we say we will burn down Nigeria, some people will shout, "Oh, go and arrest him. Go and arrest him." These are fools. Complete fools. You think we are scared of saying we are going to burn down Nigeria? Who will burn down Nigeria? You think war is to come and cement your house? You think fighting war for your freedom is to come to your house and cement it, or to go to government houses and put a pillar so that it will not fall? You think fighting for freedom is not about burning down? We're going to burn down Nigeria. And after burning it down, Biafra will still come. So the choice is yours. It is not, I want you to make this video go viral. I am saying it today, the 6th of November 2022. If you do not give Biafra freedom, and if we do not get freedom in 2023, and if we do not fight for the freedom and get it, we are going to burn Nigeria down. And after burning it down, we are still going to get our Biafra. All of them is what we call win-win.
Yeah, welcome everyone. I want to say thank you for joining, and it's another great day, and I'm delighted to have you right here today, Saturday, the 26th day of November 2022. I want to welcome you all, Biafrans, wherever you are watching from. I want to welcome you, Oduduwa brothers and sisters, and everyone who is a love of freedom, wherever you are watching from all over the nations of the world. Thank you for joining. We have to always be here because what we are doing is a serious business, and we are determined to get our freedom. And because of our determination, we don't care the stress, the sacrifice we have to make sure that we get our freedom. We have seen the evil going on in the contraption. We have seen the circumstances around us. We have seen some grave situations that warrants urgent decision making and urgent approach to dealing with them technically, and that is why we're always here. And also I want to welcome you because you also are steadfast, and you also understand the times we're in. You understand the tenacity and the resilience, the zest that is required for this time that we're in, and that is why you're always ready also to join in this and to see that we get and do what we have to do. Our guest is already in the studios. I'm going to be bringing him up now, not now, but as soon as in the next 5 minutes he's going to be up. I'm going to say some things here, and also I'm going to appreciate you that are writing, sending your messages. I want to appreciate you watching all over the nations of the world. Please, as you come on and you're watching, please just like this video, like it, and also share it on all your social media platforms. And then also, if you subscribe, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I keep saying it, that we need to dominate the media space. The only way we can get truth to be enthroned in every corner and every facet of our, of our occupation, or where we represent the issue of truth, or where we stand, or where we actually are, dominating or taking control of, is to actually circulate truth and make sure that we make truth stand in that location. If truth is going to stand in any location, it depends and it is determined by you. And so, just like we preach the truth here, you now take it up from there, and then you now then disseminate the truth, and then send it around on all your social media platforms, everyone, including WhatsApp and all of that, so that people can join us and so that people can hear this truth. The gospel of truth is very crucial to people who want to gain their freedom. Thank you all for joining. This is NUGGET Conference on Biafra Global Network. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and of course we're talking about how we will win this war, that has come to our face. This war they have brought to us, and the genocide against Biafra people. How we're going to win this war. And thank God we have our guest in the studio, experienced, vast, knowledgeable, has been part of the system, has been part of the war, has experienced the war, was in the war and all of that, and was able to see the things that have happened, and of course can share, his ideas and his experience with us from here. But without wasting much of time, I'm going to go to the message column now to read out the message of our people. Noeline Adhiabo. This is your surname. I'm always finding it hard to pronounce. I don't know why. Noeline, you are the first to send a message. Thank you so much, Noeline, for being part of this and for joining. Please share the broadcast and all of that. Thank you. You're always here. Whenever you're here, you send a message. I want to appreciate you guys that are always sending messages so that we can interact. Zubi Frank, great day to Biafrans all over the world. Thanks so much, Kelechi Mazi Kelechi, sorry. Thank you, Zubi Frank. Thank you for that message. One love, Biafrans united. United we stand. Thank you, Darlington Ifeanyi. Thank you, Darlington. It seems there's the first time I'm seeing your message. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe I've seen it before, but I'm just I've not become conversant with your name. Clement Eneto, we move Biafrans. Thank you, Clement. Good to have you again right here. Thank you so much, Edith Nedu. Good afternoon, Mazi Kelechi. Biafrans, love you. Thank you so much, Edith, and love you too. And Biafrans all over the nations of the world have taken your greeting here. Also, our guest is waiting, so we're still going to get him on to the studio. We just have about 2 minutes, and then we're going to be bringing him on. Eva Mats, greetings, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you so much, Eva Mats. Always sending messages whenever you're here. Edith Nedu, good afternoon, Biafrans. We move, yes, Edith. We move right here. Without wasting time, we're going to be going straight to what we're going to do. Joseph I. Patrick, Mazi Kelechi, good afternoon, watching from the zoo. Keep the eye on the ball. We are all with you. Thank you so much, Joseph. In spite of the fact that you are in the zoo, yet you have decided to come up and upgrade out of to prove that you're not part of the zoo. You're not made for the zoo. And so that is why we're doing what we're going to do, and then we're going to get our freedom. Odiambo is the pronunciation. Okay, Odiambo. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that one. And thank you, Noeline. Thank you all for watching. Those of you who are watching but cannot send a message or whatever it is. Some of us don't like, sending messages, but we want to watch and see what is going on. I want to say to you, welcome to this program. Before we get our guests right here on the studio, we're going to send our appreciation to Chukwokike, who has given us this opportunity to be here. And I say, may his name be praised. We welcome him here right on this hallowed platform to take control of everything we're going to be talking about, everything we're going to be doing, and all of that. And also, we want to welcome you all, wherever you are, those of you who are supporting this mandate, our Oduduwa brothers, those of you who are doing great things. We want to thank Mazi Samanepa, who's carrying this mandate, steering this ship on behalf of Mazi Nambikano, who has ordained him to do so until he is back. We want to appreciate Mazi Nambikano wherever he is. We are expecting him soon to join us. I want to thank Professor Banjo Akintoye. I want to thank Sunday Boho. I want to thank the media personnel of both sides, the two nations. I want to thank the Umuadas and the Umuadas of the Oduduwa people too. I want to thank the committees, various committees doing their functions and carrying out their responsibilities in this regard. I want to thank you all for being part of this Biafran Foreign Legion. Oh my. All hail Biafra. We must be free from the caliphate's control. That is what we have to do and what we have to do. So I'm going to be bringing, without wasting time, our guest is already 5 minutes, as I said, before he comes on. I'm going to be bringing him live on the studio, and you are going to hear great things from him today. Remember, he started the narrative last week, and this time around we're going further to plunging into more things sensitive and important that you need to know in regarding, and also taking note of the things happening in Biafra land now and the killings that are going on. I read that the zoo has discovered crude oil in the North Zoo land. This is prayer answered. Well, whether they have discovered, yes, we know that they said they have discovered oil. Well, my own ways is this: maybe they have taken the oil from our side and sent the pipe to their side and say they have got oil. Well, that's not the case. So maybe they want to use that as a means of telling us we have oil. We both have oil, so why not we stay? Relax. We have oil. You have oil. We have oil. So it's not, you are not the only ones having oil. So it shouldn't be a problem. We have to stay together. No, we understand that they can play tricks here. So until we're able to separate the two nations, and then we discover that there's no pipe going there, which they now use that as a means of saying that they have oil. The news came about 3-4 days ago when they said they have started, extracting oil in commercial quantities from the northeast. So we're looking at that. We're still watching and seeing how it's going. But nevertheless, that is not the criteria for us living. We are not one people. We are not together, so we cannot be together, whether oil or no oil. Thank you all. One more time, I'm going to bring our guest. But before I bring it, let me read these 3 messages that have come. Biafra is here. Joseph, thank you. Joseph, yes, Biafra is here. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Mas Kelechi, and all Biafrans. Iwunne, thank you so much. And also, Daberechi, Mwokike, greetings, Mas Kelechi. Thank you so much, Daberechi. Without wasting time, I'm going to bring, yes, Daberechi, thank you for, you always remind me this. This is 99 days to go home. We are now having 2 digits, no more 3. Formerly, we were having 3 digits, 100 and something, but now 99. That tells you we are close to going home. We are very, very close to going home. About 3 months, this will be all over in 3 months. Thank you so much, Onyechi and Flaxy. Good afternoon, everyone. Good day, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you, Onyechi, for joining. Please share on all your social media platforms. Begin to like the video. Don't just watch it. Like it. It's very important. This will boost our image, our platform on all social media platforms. Like it, and then when people see the likes and see much likes, they want to watch also. And also share on all your social media platforms. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Without wasting time, welcome our guests to the studio. You are welcome, Pastor IK. Please say hello to Biafrans if you can hear me. Since your network is low, I can see your network here from here. I've been trying to, if it will come up, but we don't have to waste much time. So I have to bring you straight in this video. I know that that's why your image is not showing, because of the network you have. Or maybe you just go out in case. Let's see whether we can hear you. Pastor, you're welcome. Okay, we can't hear you, Pastor. So please, what you need to do for us is to just go out and then come back. Once you go out, maybe the network will pick it from there, and it will now become better for us to hear and also listen to you. Thank you so much. Please, if you can go out and come in again, maybe we'll be able to have you better here. I think the network signal here is just 1 bar. It's very, very low from your side. Uzamaka Nicholas, good afternoon. Afternoon, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you, Uzamaka, for joining. Always, you guys, whenever you are here, you send your messages. I'm delighted to have your messages coming. Blessing Chuku, good. God bless Biafra. Thank you so much, blessing. That means you are saying God bless us all because we're all Biafrans. Now, before our guest is available, Pastor, are you here? We can't hear you. We can't see your image. Please, if you can go out, just go out and return and come back in so that we can have you. Now, before that is corrected, I want to say something quickly. I want you to understand something here, everyone, that IPOB is, the meaning of IPOB is Indigenous People of Biafra. Indigenous People of Biafra. Okay, it seems we have seen another, let's get our guests through another means, because this other means is closed. It's not actually appearing. So you're welcome, sir. Welcome to the program, Pastor. You're welcome, sir. Pastor IK, you are welcome. We are happy to have you. You are muted, please. If you can just check it and so that we can hear your voice. Yeah, we can hear your voice. We are still waiting to hear your voice. We can't hear it yet. We can't hear your voice yet. We pray that this will not do what happened to us last week. Again, it has to work well today. It has to work well today. It has to work well today. The other phone you're using or the other device you're using, actually, the network is poor there. So if also you can see how you can go off that one and then come in. So let's see whether that one will also work with the audio, and then we can now function with anyone that works well. Let me take it off here so that you can now bring it in again. Okay, this other one too has gone low. The network has gone low. It seems there's a network challenge in that regard. Pastor, you're welcome. Iwunne says, thank you so much, Pastor, and thank you, Iwunne, for welcoming our pastor. You soon let him fix it, and let's see. I think it's frozen now. Let's see what happens. As soon as he's able to fix it, he will join us. But let me explain. Let me say what I was trying to say. The meaning of IPOB is Indigenous People of Biafra. What that simply means is that we are Biafra people who are indigenous to the nation Biafra. There's nobody who is more Biafran than anybody. Every one of us are all Biafrans, and you can never claim more legitimacy to Biafra than any other person. I cannot claim more legitimacy to Biafra than any other person. I'll say more on that, when I have time. Let me bring our guest here. Let's see. Pastor, you're welcome. Let's check it out if your voice is coming up now. Oh, we're still not hearing. We're still not hearing. Please check the settings to see if you are muted or something. If the audio is coming out, you'll see the signal. Sometimes also it's required that from the settings where you have the star, something like a star beneath your you'll see a particular sign like a star or a boat, and you can check for the settings right there to be able to actually as he tries to fix it. Our time is running, but hopefully we're going to get it set. We're going to get it right. Mrs. Zion, welcome. Good afternoon, bros. Victor and Kelechi, thank you, man. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. No, it's not locked. The sound is open. I think you have to go to your settings to actually get it right. It's your settings. It's in your settings where you can fix it. The sound is not locked here. The audio here is actually open, and there's no locking here. I'm still checking the settings right now. I'm checking the settings here also. Checking this show non-video participants, show graphics and caption. So I am good to go here. The setting is right and fixed here. You need to check the settings to see. Please check it again. Let's speak. Let's see whether we can hear you. Because it's not locked here. Please speak. Let's see if we can hear you. Okay. Please, we'll get it right, please. Bear with us, please, everyone. Bear with us. Sometimes, when it comes to systems like this, we have some challenges. It's happened last week anyways, but hopefully it's going to be fixed. So I want to welcome you all. As I was saying, IPOB simply means indigenous people. We have discovered that some people, and one of the things that have been destroying what that people have been using to try to destroy what we're doing, they can't destroy it. I told you that they are not e-rats, they are only e-frogs, so they can't destroy what we're doing. Now, one of the things that makes people fight what they shouldn't fight is because they feel that other people just came yesterday and want to actually take over what take over what they tell you that we have been here, and some people want to come and just outshine us and want to take our place. You cannot. We have been here before you. Honestly, it is a very disgusting mindset. That is why you see the issue of slavery has actually battered the minds of our people, that sometimes we begin to wonder how people reason. We see people, when you listen to people talk, when you listen to the issues. Now, do you know that one of the main reasons why they sued Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and fought him is because of the time on the day he came out and said to the world, said, listen to Mazi Simon Ekpa. Listen to Simon Ekpa. He's bringing a new dimension to this, and share his videos. That suddenly created evil. That suddenly created evil. They began to get angry, bitter, and everything. Some of them started saying, we have been here, he has not greeted us. Some of them said, we have been doing this, we have been doing that, we have been contributing, we have been doing this, we have been doing that, we have been laboring. He didn't recognize it. Us. Someone who just came yesterday, he's recognizing that person. You see, sometimes we don't understand these things. You see, the problem about our people, is that most of our people are always thinking about their interests, and we always think about what we can achieve, or the position that we can achieve, rather than thinking of what should be done rightly. And there's something that Jesus was saying one parable in the scripture, and he said, so a man hired people to actually, a parable, he said he hired people to actually work in his vineyard, and they worked and worked. He hired them in the morning, and then towards the evening again he decided to hire more people. And after hiring them, remember, the vineyard belongs to the man. He's the boss. Every other person who is there is just a worker. Now let me tell you, Biafra is the creation of Chukwokike. Every one of us are citizens and workers to make it work, to make that kingdom perfect. The same way that man who employed people, in the vineyard and all of that, and try to, and of course, employed some in the morning and employed some in the evening. Now, after about 1 hour, the whole work was finished. And then the people who had been there for 8 hours plus, and the people who just worked for 1 hour, together they came, and he gave every man the same amount of wage. Their wage was the same. If it was $20, each person received $20. Even the person who came 1 hour to the time of closing was given $20. And the others started complaining. We have been here since morning, and you're just giving us the same amount with this one who came 1 hour ago. He said, for God's sake, this is my labor. I discussed the price with you. And the price is that I'm going to pay you this. And that is not your, if this one came 1 hour before the close, I also discussed the same price with him, and I gave him what is due to him. That shouldn't make you angry. You understand that this kingdom work is my work. This vineyard, it belongs to me. I choose to pay who I want to pay, what I pay them. It is not in your place to determine who takes a position or not. Biafra does not belong to you, because Biafra does not become yours because you have been doing some fantastic things that you see as nobody have done before, that you are doing them now. And so whenever they call for position, you must be given a position. No, in spite of my labor today, if they said I'm not qualified to handle a particular position or qualified to do a particular thing, I would take it in good faith. My labor is for the freedom of people, for the freedom of my people, my freedom and the freedom of people, not because I am looking for a particular position at a particular time. This is what destroyed these evil people who are now defunct in the DOS, who now became so evil because of their selfish ends, because of their selfish desires, and they went extra mile to begin to kill our people and sold Mazin and Kanu. Mr. Dazan says, I keep reminding them that Paul the apostle was not one of Jesus's disciples, yet see what he did in the name of Jesus. You have to think about what you can do, not what you can get. That is why we're doing what we're doing. We are sacrificing to get our freedom, not to think of the position we're going to get after now. No, that is not the issue. Not because when Mazin American, when I was with him when he started this, and so he must give me a position. That is evil. Biafra Foreign Legion says that's the true meaning of public service. Thank you so much, Biafran and Foreign League. Thank you so much. And let's check out if the sound now is okay with our guest. Pastor, please speak up. Let's see if we can hear you, please. We still can't hear you. We still can't hear you. Please go to the settings. Go to the settings and check the audio. Check if your audio is on. Just go. There's a button somewhere that actually, you know, there's a button somewhere, you know, that actually it's like a button. It's like a boat. You know, it's like a boat. You know, the button is like a boat. Please just click on that button, and then you know, of course, you can now check if the signal. When you speak, you should also check the signal, whether it is giving you some green projection. If it is doing that, then that means something is actually holding it somewhere, maybe the network or something. You know, please speak again. Let's hear you. Let's see if we can hear you. Or maybe you have to return to the device. Remember last week we had this challenge. You had to use another device, which now brought the audio out. So if you can use the one you used last week to see. Okay, yes, if that's the device you used last week, if you can try it again, let's see. Because I think, remember last week, we had this challenge that you couldn't come on. And then later you now used another device. And then you were able to come on. So please, if you can try that, let's see how it goes. You know. Now let's continue the narrative of what we were saying. Biafran Foreign Legion, I've just said something critical. Remember today's discussions, and we have our guest who is going to be talking to us. We're just waiting for him. So we keep the stage rolling as we continue to interact. Because let's communicate, man. Let's communicate. Biafra Foreign Legion, I've said something. That's the true meaning of public service. People don't understand that is one of the things we lack. This spirit of public service, the spirit of service, the spirit that was in Jesus Christ, the spirit that was in the apostles. Remember, there was a time the apostles were struggling. In fact, one of them, Jesus is the mother of James and John. No, not James and John. I've forgotten the apostles, the disciples. Two of them came with their mother and said, please, I want my two children to sit on your left hand and your right hand when you get to your kingdom. And Jesus said, it is not in my place to do that. It is not because they are my disciples now. You now tell me they have to take a position. No, it is the Father that does that. And the Father gives that reward. The reward of Biafra is not for anybody to appoint you on any position. The reward of Biafra is the reward that comes from Chukwuokike, who inspires people to do for you and gives his blessings through the time, by the time it is due for you. So don't think that because you started with Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, you are more Biafran or you are more IPOB. IPOB means indigenous, because sometimes we use the acronym IPOB. So people just say IPOB, you are not IPOB. They don't understand the meaning of IPOB. They're not talking, because when you say IPOB, you lose the real meaning or the real value of what you are talking about. They feel that IPOB is just an organization, but IPOB is actually an endorsement of a nation, even if it's registered like an organization. The reason it is registered as an organization is for the organization to fight for the reality or for the nation to come to pass. The nation Biafra, which the name is in that acronym IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra. If you are indigenous of Biafra, you are automatically a Biafran, and you are not less than anybody or greater than anybody. You are Biafra and you are Biafra. You can function, you can be appointed, and every appointment comes by merit, by the sure fact that you have been confirmed to be qualified to handle some things. So don't think because you started in 2010 or in 2000 or in 1999 or in 1950, that is why you must have a position. No, or don't think because you always, and when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes to your state, nation, you go and carry his bag and you take him to your house, you give him food, you cook this, you do that, you take him here, you bring your car, you take him around, then he must give you a position. That is very, very wrong. Let's see if we can have it here. Pastor, please, let's check it out. Please, Pastor is not here. Pastor is off. Pastor is off. So that is it. That is it. So please, it's very, very important. We must understand this. Now let me read what Mrs. Adazayon posted here. Let me read Mrs. Adazayon's position here. Mrs. Adazayon's position here. He said, my response to these envious people who claim that they drew the map of Biafra as Lugat's concubine drew the map of Nigeria is to show me what they achieved in 100 years. They followed Onyendu. That is what we're talking about. If you now want to make you want to give value to your person by telling us that you are being with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the beginning, give us your what do we call it now? Give us give us an evidence that of what you have done. What were you able to do? It is obvious that we can see what Mazi Simon Ekpa is doing. What Mazi Simon Ekpa is doing is obviously we can see it, you can feel it, you can even smell it. You can even smell it. But he didn't chase and push to have this position. He only began his work evidently and doing the work strongly as an evidence, which now proved his confirmation and gave a confirmation that he is qualified for the position. He never fought for it. He never lobbied for it. He never did anything, on that regard for it. He only worked diligently and proved that he can be a humble servant. In fact, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu talked about 100 people, he told him, please, sir, are you saying that you will be consistent in this? If you need so number of people, I want to be, and I will give you my promise here. He said it on air, we heard it. He said, if you need 100 people, I'm 15-1. He didn't lobby for it. He only showed his affection. And he only proved all of that by his works. That was how he was able to actually do what he needed to do. Leslie Chiku says, do you think only singing Biafra song protesting will give Biafra? Of course, most of you have seen the news or heard the news, of yesterday, the news yesterday of the Enugu women protesting. And the way the police came, tear gassing, picking some of them, taking them to their station, and all of that. You see, our people are always, our people don't know how to read times. You don't try to understand times and discern moments. And because we don't know how to read times and discern moments, we begin to struggle with situations and circumstances. Do you know why? This is not the time for protests. But past that stage of protest, we are in the time of dragon flag being lifted. The dragon flag has been lifted, and that is the season where we are. Pastor, please, can you hear me? Oh my, what is going on? Pastor, please, can you hear me? Oh my God, what about the device you used last time? The one you used last time? Or you switch off and switch on? Have you gone to the settings? Because I know you can hear me, but I can't hear you. That's the problem. I know you can hear me, but I can't hear you. I don't know if I refresh here. Let me refresh here and see if I can have you. Let me refresh here and see if please everybody bear with us. Let me refresh. I'll refresh now to see if it will work out. Let me refresh to see whether he will be able to come in. I think I have to refresh. Let me try that. Please, everybody hold on. Please bear with us. Hang on, please. Let me refresh. I'll refresh now. Thank you all. If you can hear me, please just send a message that you can hear me so that I can be sure that I am well refreshed. Please send a message if I'm coming out loud, and let's check out if our pastor too is coming out. Please send a message so that I can be sure that I am out, and then I know from. Please send a message, please, if you can hear me, so that we can be sure we are. Please send a message if you can hear me from there. Okay, I think I'm coming out. You can hear. Okay, good. So let's our guest come in. Let's see whether he will be able to enter now, and to get him to actually be out. All right, thank you so much, Unstoppable Movement TV. Thank you. Let me read what Biafran Foreign Legion said. Okay, Onyechi, thank you so much. And Biafrans have crossed the Rubicon. Only those Nigerians residing within Biafra territory shall still believe in protest and the Nigeria status. Yes, only those Nigerians. You're correct. Only those Nigerians residing within Biafra. Yes, only we call them Nigerians, even if some of them are Biafrans. We'll call them Nigerians because they have not yet recovered from the mentality of a Nigerian. Recovered from that mentality. So, because the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So, since they are thinking they are Nigerians and they believe in protecting Nigeria, they are Nigerians. The moment they recover from the mindset of being a Nigerian, they become Biafran. That is when we begin to identify them as Biafrans. You remember the story of the prodigal son. As soon as he left the house, he became prodigal. Even if his name was not prodigal, but he now took the tag prodigal because he left his father's house in error. So he became prodigal because he had left, and so he received the tag prodigal. So anybody who is called a Nigerian is now having a kind of a tag as a Nigerian. So that tag Nigerian is the same name as the prodigal. When you return, you now become part of the kingdom. When the prodigal son returned, he became part of the kingdom. He was brought back, he was celebrated. So we are waiting for all of these ones who have become Nigeria's stooges and who have been battered in their mind realm as Nigerians to return to their mindset, and then we can now begin to look at them as back to the bosom of Biafra, and then they become Biafrans. For now, we've tagged them Nigerians, and Nigeria is a name for banishment, a name for slavery, a name for subjugation, a name that qualifies you as nothing, a name that gives you no status of nationhood. Because Nigeria itself, the name Nigeria, has nothing to do with nation. The name Nigeria does not qualify to be defined as a nation, because you know why? It is not a nation. A nation is a group of people with common ties. In the realm of Nigeria, it is not a nation. You understand that? So in the context of Nigeria, we're not talking about, so anybody who is a Nigerian is not, he has no nation. You have to identify, if you want to identify, to be a nation, then you must trace your background to your source. Nationhood, a group of people with common ties. That's what nation is. And of course, when a nation becomes a state, it's a group of people living in a definite geographical territory. That means living as a nation, possessing a government. As soon as you possess a government, you become a state. So what we want to achieve is that we want to get Biafra to become a state by getting our our people together, so that we can have. And sir, let's see if we can hear you now. I hope we can. Oh my mind! Thank God! Thank God! Lord have mercy.
Oh Lord
have mercy.
I'm so sorry about that, Biafrans. I have my 4-year-old grandson. He always insists on playing with my phones.
Oh my mind!
Each time he touches my phone, I do have problems getting back on track. I'm so sorry about that. Good afternoon, Kelechi, and good afternoon, beloved Biafrans. I greet you My name is Pastor Ike, and we're here to do the needful. I send them special greetings to my leader, Mazen Nandekano. I send special greetings to the man we call the dragon, blowing fire, spitting fire, consuming all the Biafran enemies. Special regards to Simon Ekwa. Special regards to Madam Oyibo and Madam Azoka. Madam Azoka, I greet you, the women leadership. I greet Pastor Livingston. I greet all the people in various committees trying to make Biafra come. I greet our Yoruba allies. I greet all the various groups doing bits and pieces in the forest. And my special greetings to the Biafran people. Those who have been at the receiving end of Fulani hatred. Those who have been at the receiving end of this economic subjugation. Those who Fulani are starving and killing. My respect goes to you all. And I'm here to tell you, Biafrans, that though weeping may endure throughout the night, your joy is coming in the morning. Mazen Nandekano said, they will kill us, we will kill them. But at the end, Biafra will come. At the end, Biafra will come. I was speaking to my mommy yesterday, Mommy Ozo Ezukama, we call her Ada Biafra. And I said to her, recently, every day I wake up, I can smell Biafra closer and closer. And she said to me, she's also having that kind of experience. So this goes to show that by and by, Biafra is just around the corner. And with the exposition of things, with the way things are being uncovered, with the way the enemies of Biafra are just openly implicating themselves, openly accusing themselves, there is no doubt, and there should be no doubt in anybody's mind that ihe anyị na-eme ọ bụ ihe mmụọ. Onye na-aja ọ bụ oke mmụọ. Man can plan, but God have the final say. And they have planned against Mazen Nandekano. But God is having the final say. Because every book the Fulani opens, God closes it. Every book the Fulani opens, God closes it. And when the Bible tells you that it is only a fool that says there's no God, how can we go through all this and see all this happening and still say there is no God? What is at stake here, Biafrans? This is a very simple problem, a very simple issue. I was listening to a program that Mazi Kelechi done with Pastor Livingston and Akparawa and Okonkwo and the rest of them. And a very crucial question was asked on this program. Mazen Nandekano put Biafra's struggle on the table, put his integrity on the table, put 80 million Biafrans on the table. Buhari, prove to me that you are still alive. I, Nnamdi Kanu, say you are dead and you are buried in Saudi Arabia. Now, if you can prove to me beyond any reasonable doubt that you are still alive, I will drop the Biafran struggle. I will apologize. Is this not a more simple way to solve this problem?
Very well.
Is this not a more, idiot-proof way to solve this problem? Dear friends, let's count the cost of what is happening to Buhari government, or what do they call them? What do they call themselves? Anyway, whatever they call themselves. The cost to Nigeria, to the zoo. Who used to be called the giant of Africa? Nigeria used to be known as the giant of Africa. Are they today the giant of Africa? No. The British have lost hope in Nigeria. They have lost hope in Fulani government. They are ashamed by what is happening in Nigeria. And who do they want to make the giant of Africa? South Africa. South Africa was in London. It was given a state-of-the-art presidential welcome. That cost alone can never be recovered. The damage, the international damage, the damage to the reputation of this government. They have no image anywhere in the world now. No image. How about the cost? How much was paid out to kidnap Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? And it's costing them today. Every day that Nnamdi Kanu is held is costing this demonic government a lot of money. To which they don't care. They don't care. So this goes to show that we have an irresponsible government. A highly irresponsible government. Does not want to listen to international concerns. Does not want to listen to domestic concerns. It is pathetic. And what have they done? They've turned all our governors to Alama juries. All the governors now in our area, all our governors are Alama juries. And what have they done? They're giving them all a begging bowl. Begging bowl. And this is why you have seen all our governors, they are dumb, they can't speak. Even if Fulani come and slaughter their wife, they will not talk. They won't talk. They will not talk. You see, God have ordained this time that Biafra will come. Biafra is just around the corner. Whether the Fulani like it or they don't like it. There is something called damage limitation. This government does not understand the language of damage limitation. I see a government on the course of international and local suicide. But I am really, really sorry for this government. If they think that this generation of Biafrans are going to back down, they are living in the cuckoo land. If they think Simon Ekpa is going to back down, do you listen to Simon Ekpa speak? Does he sound like a man who is going to back down? Does he sound like a man that can be bribed? Does he sound like a man that is not serious? Or maybe Fulani thinks the group of people now fighting for this struggle, fighting for Biafra, are still those groups they messed up and deceived and bribed, which is what they are good at, bribing, corruption. We are going to look into a lot of issues today. I'll try my best to take you back as far back as I can to the 1960 war, and we shall be talking and discussing whether Fulani have learned any lessons. Have they really learned any lesson? Or do they still have this myopic vision of conquering the whole country, of dominating the whole country, of subjugating the whole country? I welcome you, and we're going to have a very, very interesting afternoon.
Thank you so much. We are excited for that. You have given so much from these, so many questions had even just come out from what you have actually told us now. But we're going to be taking them one after the other. And before I go straight to actually asking some questions, basic questions, because first we're going to be looking at that time, the experiences, that time you were there. You know, we just imagine you now, you know, because we know that just looking at you now, we know your mind, you know, we can see in that mindset, you actually can picture everything that happened, you know, at that time. You can actually picture them, you know, it's like yesterday, because such kind of situation not go away very quickly. And now I'm going to be asking you a critical question, but before I do that, because I'm also going to ask you now, between that time when the war ended until you came of age, and then nothing again talked about Biafra, those quiet, you know, age, or those quiet years, until suddenly the issue of Biafra now comes strongly. Let's look at it from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's time, because that is when I know that real Biafra agitation began. You forget Waziruke's time; it was just caricature. And when it began, I will want to know what was on your mind, looking back at that golden time of your nation, of our nation, and then you now came to that age, or that time of the hyphen, empty, you know, empty between the time and now. We're going to be looking at what you were thinking about, what was on your mind when we had that hyphen, you know. But before we do that, we're going to look at that time, you know, because all we want to do is that we want to teach the people and make them understand why and how we're going to win this war. And if we look at how Chukwu did it then, and how he was able to lay the path for us now, then we can understand that. So before we do that, I'm going to play a particular video which will actually give us a picture of what these people, these foreigners, think about the people within and what they expect from the people within. This man made mention of except it's a revolution, but I'm going to play a video so that people can listen to it critically and get the message very rightly. So please, I want you all to listen to this video critically. You are going to have the time to call in. If you want to call in, you can ask your messages by placing them on the message column. If you don't want to call in, you know, but please listen to this video critically so that you can get the message before we come back to our guests. Now, let's go there right now and see how we can have our people, you know, understand what is happening and how the nations of the world need to begin to rise up, especially Africa, to change the narrative. And that's why Biafra must set that template by changing the narrative so that Africa will be rescued from domination. Listen to this critically, please. Attentively, please, I beg you, everyone.
I don't think there's a single answer, but the one that I think is the most important factor is it's the politics. You know, to misquote Bill Clinton, it's the politics, stupid. And that goes back to the colonial project, the way Africa's societies, between 6,000 and 10,000 political units that existed pre-colonial times, were carved up by outsiders, simply drawing lines on maps and, you know, between Germany, France, Britain, saying, right, that bit's your bit, that's bit, we'll put the line there, often dividing whole societies. And these states have got, Nigeria, for example, 400 languages, 400 separate languages and counting. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Maybe as many or more centers of old political power. So it's the overlay of these new states on old societies. And states that had, those societies had no part in their creation at all. They were just created and then handed over to them suddenly in the 1950s and 60s. You're independent now, off you go. And to think you can create a nation state like that was always madness. So it is the evolution of those societies that I think it'll take a lot of time. It'll take generations for those nation states to create the sort of feeling of citizenship that Americans have or British people have. And so I just don't think, I think that's the core of the failure of development. Lots of countries going along nicely, suddenly huge political upheaval, maybe even civil war, all destroyed. Everybody flees, the money shifts out. And I think that's one. And I think the other one, which is closely linked to it, is that Africa's politics have fallen into the hands of elites, as the Nigerians would call them. These are a class of people who are pure business politicians, and business and politics go together in Africa. You cannot stand as a poor man. I came across a wonderful example the other day from Kenya, where a man who cycled around on a bicycle was trying to get himself elected, and the people just laughed at him and they say, "You've only got a bicycle. What can you do for us? We need a big man with a big car with money. That's the politician we need to." So there's this mentality, which I think has allowed a very small group of people to take over those countries politically, but also economically. And that's why you have something like, I think the World Bank says, between 60 and 70% of Africa's capital shifted out of the continent. It's in banks in Europe and Asia and maybe America as well. But these people just do what the colonialists did, which was suck the wealth out and shift it overseas. And until that changes, that is, until there's a new generation or even a revolution that actually takes power back to African people, I think those problems, that lack of development, will continue. The answer has been, well, why should we invest in Africa as outsiders if the rich Africans don't invest in Africa? And that's been the case up until now. But I think it's changing. I think there is.
Yeah, welcome back. I would not want to go into the details of that video. I just wanted the people to get the insight of what we are actually fighting for, why we are seeking for freedom, why we're doing what we're doing, why we are taking action. Why somebody like Pastor IK would come all out after experiencing what he experienced during that time. He could still come all out to speak for Biafra. There must be a conviction. There must be something about Biafra, and that, of course, which we understand by the leading of the Spirit that governs and regulates Biafra. Putting in the hearts of people to still hold on to this. Now, Pastor.
Yes.
Last week we were talking about the criticalness of the fight, and how there was this we were looking at the strategy being adopted, which was the guerrilla tactics of course, when Chief Emeka also talked about buff, and made reference to that, and we were looking at from what angle and how strategic it was for communities to actually ward off these enemies. Please, can you give us insight before we begin to go on the narrative of how we're going to win the fight this time? Can you give us insight of what truly deduced from everything that happened during the war?
Okay. Yes. We had, or communities had, inclination or some intel that the enemy forces were fast approaching. Now, what they did at that time, especially the young men in the village, what they did was they knew the tracks that the Nigerian forces were going to come through. And what we did as young men with our seniors, we went and dug those tracks. And we put a false floor on them. We covered it with sand. And we alerted the whole community. So the first set of army that came, Nigerian army that came into the village, they had a tough time. They had a tough time. But we were overwhelmed because we were not just fighting Fulani. If it was just Fulani, I can assure you that war would not have lasted 3 months. We were fighting the world. Even the world could not subdue us if not for the economic blockade. There were all sorts of strategies that was adopted. People were put on watch out. As soon as they see something, they alert the other. Every Biafran put their belt on. Everyone knew exactly what we're expecting. We knew it was going to be hard. We knew we were going to be killed. We knew we were going to be starved. That was the end of formal education during that war. For the 3.5 years of that war, Biafran schooled under trees, which went to school under trees. Forget about your 4 walls classroom. And this is one thing I like about Biafrans. They know how to volunteer. People volunteer their service even without getting paid. Nobody asks for salary. Nurses were working without pay. Doctors were working without pay. It was sad that we lost that war. And you asked what was going through our mind then. What was going through our mind then was hopelessness. Hopelessness.
1, 5, 2, 5.
Hopelessness.
3, 4.
Because when you look at the way we were killed.
Please, before you go on, sir, please, we're not receiving calls now, please. Let's calm down. I'm going to tell us when to begin to call in so that we can get the best from our guest, so that we don't distort his flow. You know, we have to allow him flow very well. I'm going to let you call in maybe from the next 25 minutes. We're going to start calling. Let's get the flow well from him. So please, sir, go on. Sorry for that interruption.
So when you look at the way we were killed, the way we were subjugated, the way we were marginalized, there was no hope. We knew as far as we were concerned, the Igbo race have embarked on a very, very difficult journey. And even though we were quiet, even though we were speechless, every Biafran was bleeding inside. We were all bleeding inside. Some people have lost entire families. Some people lost the main breadwinner. Some children lost mother and father. I was, speaking to Ada Zion on this issue. She lost eight members of her family. 8 members. So you can imagine the state of every Biafran then. But what could we do? Nothing. What could be done in the midst of heavy military presence? And we had nothing. There was sadness in the town.
3, 2.
Pastor, let me ask you this question, because as you were talking, I was just thinking about something. Now, during that time, it's different from now, because then you had a government that was actually a governor fighting for the freedom of the people. This time we have the people seeking for their freedom and the government against the people and siding the enemies. Now, how was the government able to deal, looking at it critically, and the communities? Let me just bring it to the area of the communities, because the government may have its own challenges then, because government being pro freedom, and some individuals within the communities becoming an eye to the enemies. How were you able to deal with those enemies within? Maybe they were able to be identified. I don't know whether they were identified or something. Was there any way of identifying those who were supporting the Nigeria contraption?
Yes. The same level of anger which Biafrans are expressing now was the same level of anger then. Saboteurs were few and in between. But if you were caught, you were sent to judgment. If you were caught then as a saboteur, even the villagers will do the justice. I could remember even going to your fellow Biafran's farm to steal his produce. You'll be judged in the community center. A date will be fixed for everybody to come out in the community. The corporate will be, naked. All your clothes will be removed. And they'll put what is called omu all around you, even hanging down from your private parts. And you'll be paraded in the village.
So please, to cut you there, that means when you are caught as a saboteur, these are the kinds of...
As a saboteur, you are killed. The Biafrans did not tolerate anything saboteur. And there was few of them in the villages. We didn't have them as rampant as we have now, selling land to Fulani, welcoming them through their cattle. When I was a young boy, I never saw any Fulani, parading with cattle in the village. All these are new tactics. If you are caught as a saboteur, you are killed. There's no two way about it, because Biafrans, as Biafrans are angry now, that is how they were angry then. But if you're a local thief, they will naked you and parade you down the village. That was how it was then.
So how were saboteurs being identified then?
Saboteurs were being identified by their movements.
Okay.
For instance, in my own community, we had, there are men that set watch on the community. And if there's any strange movement, it is investigated. For instance, if you come out in the night and you're walking down and you're on your own, you're followed. But you wouldn't know you're followed. They'll know who you're interacting with.
So there was this kind of intelligence.
There was intelligence. There was intelligence. That was one good thing that Oduduwa did then, there was intelligence. And people took ownership of the intelligence.
Community-wise.
Exactly. There was intelligence. Even in my village today, there's still intelligence. Because I'm always in touch with my President General.
Okay.
So intelligence is very, very important. And I think that is what is a bit lacking, with this present agitation. Intelligence is very important. We need to know when they are coming, where they are coming from, and what they are coming with.
Now, let me ask this question. Do you think that the lack of intelligence we have right now is because the fight for freedom is not being fronted from the government level? Because it's the people and who are fighting, and the government is attacking the people, so the people are devastated and confused, and they don't really know where their problem will be coming from, and that is why they have decided they don't have that room to have effective, efficient intelligence.
You see, then it was easier because you only had one government. You only had Ojukwu.
Very well, yes.
One Biafran government. But you now have how many governors? You now have how many governors? And as I said earlier on, we don't have governors. We do not have leaders with integrity. What we have as our governors are alamajiris with a begging bowl. That's why they are ineffective. For them to be anything, they must bow down to Fulani. For them to be elevated, they must do the Fulani bidding. They must do what Fulani wants them to do. They must show wickedness to the people they were elected to govern. And that is a problem. That is a problem. Believe you me, if the Eastern region had one government, just one singular government, like we had then, there will be a total unity of purpose. But
So
there is no unity.
The current situation we have right now is that there's no one, we don't have one government.
No, we don't have one government.
Even within the system, we have diverse interests. Even in communities, we have diverse interests. Now, what do you think should be strategically devised to actually still sustain that level of intelligence that will help us right now as we go on with the complex situations we have?
I think, was it, who was I listening to in Kaduna who says that Fulani is running, or the Boko Haram is running a parallel government in Kaduna?
Yes, yes.
What we need to do and drill it down to our community level is to forget about these governors and have our own parallel government. Oman can never talk for Biafrans.
Is it on the community level or
at the community level? Okay. At the community level.
Okay.
I mean, what are we gaining from the state government? What are the indigenes gaining from the state government? All we are getting from our governors is subjugation.
So let me throw light to that now. You said it is very, because since we don't have a central government that can guard us from that point and guide us on what to do, it is very crucial, because I'm seeing a light in what you're saying now. That means we have to come down to our communities where we have a touch and create a kind of, should I say, pro-tempore government that will guide us through this period. Now, which means that what you are talking about now is a structure, because government is about structure of governance, or structure of dealing with rules and the laws to help secure the people. So what you are saying now, that in our communities, we should have a structure which of course represents the governance system that will help the people subjugate and defeat these enemies. So can you throw more light on that?
You're not going to form these structures. This structure is already there.
Okay.
This structure, if it's already there.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
There are president generals.
Yes.
In every community. These are the people we should target. And I'm advising every Biafran abroad, if you do not know who your president general is, try and know who your president general is. Try and know which side of the fence your president general is standing on. Does he want Biafra, or is he betraying Biafra?
So that means the people should now ask questions. The people should now ask questions directly, because
exactly.
Situation.
Exactly.
Where do you stand?
Exactly.
Your director general, where do you stand? We want to know, so we know how to operate.
And
all right.
If you have a pro-Biafran president general in your community, do anything you can to support him. Even if it touches you bought to distribute, even if it's matches you can afford, even if it's spares you can afford, whatever you can do to support a good president general, that needs to be done. That needs to be done.
So that means, from the point out is this: the communities should see themselves as responsible for their security. So they have to now come together under the umbrella of their president general, and then prepare a kind of schedule that will help them ward off, no matter what they have. Prepare it and design a schedule that will help them ward off these killers. If every community begins to put this to play, it simply means that every community will be protected, and then there should be a synergy between communities.
Between communities.
Okay.
Yes. There should be a synergy between communities. The president general within the community must have regular meetings on what is going on. I know we are doing a lot at the center, but what we are now doing at the center needs to be permeated down to community levels. I saw a video, I can't remember the place, but it was an attack on the Zoo army and how they, destroyed some of the armored cars. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I am talking about. Because ESN cannot be everywhere.
Yes. Now there's something Biafran Foreign Legion is saying that I want to draw out point from there. He says the current community leaders are tied to the local government, which is tied to the state government and then the federal government. Biafrans can't work with the current zoo structure. Now, let's just assume we have a situation where the community leader or the president general of that community is pro the government, and now they are in that dicey challenge, and they have to still secure themselves, and yet these ones would somehow sabotage, and if you want to do some stuff you have to still connect to them. How do you handle this kind of situation?
Right. I think every president general now knows their state governors, and they know that the state governors are not fighting for them. They're not talking for them. They're not defending them. In fact, they're adding to clean them, kill them. You know, they're contributing to their hardship and the death. They are contributing to their subjugation. So basically, any president general that is dancing tango with the present governors we have now, then that president general has to be removed through water. Water is coming.
That means the people should not, the status quo should be destroyed now. The people should take the things into their hands. Once somebody shows a sign of not supporting the community, you take that person off, you revolt against that person, and cause a new dispensation to take them.
It's already happening. It's already happening. All we need to do is to encourage it.
To encourage it.
Yes, it's happening even in family levels.
Yes.
Huh? You go and have, if you're anti-Biafra, and you are having conversation in your living room, that conversation will get to Simon. How he gets his information, I do not know. So it's even at family level, people are asking questions. If a man sitting down with his family can say, oh, he has a phone call, and he said, oh, please don't talk. Madam is here. The children are here. Let me go and look for somewhere private to talk to you because that will tell you what is happening. And this trend we need to encourage. These guys will run. Believe you me. They will run. Because believe you me, no true Biafran is joking now. No true Biafran is joking. Everybody don't vex. Everybody don't vex. I was at your media show yesterday. Every one of you was annoyed. And so rightly so. We have had enough. We have had enough. They reigneth both on the just and the unjust, but chiefly on the just, because the unjust stole the just umbrella. Our umbrella have been stolen for far too long. We have been living under the rain without cover for far too long. And any Biafran that does not appreciate this fact, then you are just what Zebediah called Murutum Mpafu. Murutum Mpafu. If you're a Biafran and you're supporting Nigeria, you're supporting the Zoo government for what you can gain from them, you are nothing but Murutum Mpafu.
I used to remember when we were little, my father would be saying that thing, and I now heard it from Zebediah. So funny. Please go on.
I was having a discussion with a good friend from the riverine area, and I said to him, because he's neither here nor there, you know how most of them behave, and I said to him, because what is going to happen now that the Fulani knows that we are serious now about our own country. We are serious about exiting Nigeria, and we have gotten so much evidence against the Fulani government to break away. Now, what they're going to do now is, you see all these riverine areas now, our brothers in the riverine areas, they're going to try to bribe them. They're going to try to spoil them, just to try to put a spanner in the Biafran will. And I said to this, my friend, I said, let's assume that you have been in a marriage for 60 years. And you've been so badly maltreated in that marriage. You have been productive in that marriage. And despite being productive, you are not loved. You've produced children in that marriage. And despite giving this man beautiful children, you're not loved. And after 60 years, you call your husband. You say, see, today is Friday. Sunday morning, I'm leaving. I pack my things and I'm leaving you. Because I have not experienced an iota of love in this marriage. And the man said, okay, today is Friday, yeah? He said, yes. And you say you're going on Sunday? He said, yes. It's okay, don't worry. And the man went out Saturday morning and he came back with expensive jewelries, wrappers, suitcase of wrappers, everything that you've lacked for 60 years. It's okay, my wife. Take, stay. I asked him, I said, will you stay? He said, no, he will not stay. I said, why will you not stay? He said, because it's fake. I said, there you are. They've done it to your people before, promised you heaven and hell and, heaven and earth. They told you you're not Igbos. They gave you all our abandoned properties. And you sold out. It's coming back again. But this time, it will be hurtful to you guys. Thank you.
Now, we have a situation right now, and I am seeing a situation that will get worse in this regard. Remember, during the war, we had a situation where they caused confusion between tribes, where they said the Igbo tribe attacked the Ijaw tribe, and all of that, designed by the Nigeria system to actually create, that kind of tribal, confusion, and then thinking that the tribe is attacking the tribe. Now I'm seeing a situation where very soon the Nigeria state or their agents within us will organize that kind of tactics again, and then maybe go attack a community in Abia state, and from Imo state, maybe from that that area where you have Orienta towards Aba, toward like that, and then maybe a community attacks another. And then the military, the Nigeria police also, their military will capture these guys, bring them to the media, and tell us these guys were captured, and make them confess that they were actually sent from this community to go and attack this community. Now, when we get to, because I know they will adopt, these people they are stereotyped. They will always to create a situation to make sure they bring confusion. Can you tell us and help people understand how this was played during the war and how they can even play it better this time?
When you come to the hinterland, to the Igbo part of Biafra, we didn't quite experience that much, but where it existed was places like Port Harcourt, Bayelsa, Bonny, all those areas that our people had properties. And they betrayed us because there was a prize. There was a prize. There was something for them to gain. And those elites then from these areas, they were too easy to be bribed. And what the Nigerian army did, especially in Calabar, was to wear Biafran uniform, military uniform, went into Calabar and started killing people. So the Calabars thought that it was Biafrans that was killing them. You see how they instituted that hatred between the Calabars and the Igbos. And I'm sure they did it in so many other areas. And this is why you have some people that will say one or two things against the Igbos, which is all lies unfound. It's what they've been fed about us. And they went along with it. But where we are now is that this rain is beating everybody. This rain now is beating everybody. And when you compare life in the Igbo area and the riverine area, you will see that these people are actually living in perpetual poverty. How can you be shitting in the water and drinking the same water at the same time? Is it life? Is that life? You've just raised the structure above water. Where you sleep, where you call home, you are living on top of water. You ease yourself into that water. You still use the same water to cook, and you drink the same water. Horrible. And you tell me that is life. If you are experiencing this and you don't want to be free, you are worse than an animal. Worse than an animal. And the first task we need to do is to change the psychic of our people, because some people are gone. They are not reasoning again like human beings. Our people need to be unfrozen through orientation. Because all those areas that sold out to Fulani in the 60s, there might be a few of their citizens that Fulani have propped up, and people like Edwin Clark and Wike and all the rest of them, But majority of these indigenes, for them, life is hell. Life is actually hell. I mean, you've seen it on the television. And that's the one Nigeria. And the crude oil is coming from your area, from your village.
There's a situation, I was trying to narrate yesterday. Looking at, I made a comparison, and I looked at the issue of how, especially those foreigners within us, those Hausas and Fulanis and all of that within us, are very effective, efficient instrument in the hands of the those who want to conquer us, their caliphates and all of that, to actually lead their foot soldiers to the territories of Biafra. And I looked critically at Osman Danfodio, for instance, and when he now started engaging on social evangelism, which is a social revolution, penetrating the people, becoming so friendly with the communities, just like we have the Hausas today. Some people will tell you, oh, they are nice people. These Hausa community people, they are nice people. No, we shouldn't talk about them. These ones are not, they can't be, that kind of sentiment. Because they understand the key strength or the key value of social penetrating the people socially. Because as human beings, naturally, we love socializing. And so they see it as a means of actually dealing with this. Because the truth here is this: the average Fulani foot soldier coming from the Sahel would believe the reports of an average Fulani who is already in Biafra land and has grown up there and all of that, would believe his report of direction of how to penetrate Biafra land than they will believe an average Biafran, even if he's a betrayer. Because they will not understand if this one is actually coming to set them up. But they will always believe that their own is their own.
Yes.
So now in the midst of this, now we have these Fulanis who have grown, who grew up, born in our area, grew up. Of course, if you talk about Fulanis, we're talking about with the Hausas too. Because as much as the Hausas are stooges to the Fulanis, they first have they give them, pay their obeisance to the Fulanis before they would ever talk about even the Biafra people. So the Fulanis are their direct bosses. So now, how do we now begin to manage this situation? Because we know that these people coming into our forest and identifying the pathway to go to communities to kill and go back to where they are coming from, this began or is well organized, and they were helped by these ones who have been in our midst for a long time. How do we handle these ones in these complex times?
Look, from my experience, from what I saw and went through during the Biafran War, darkness and light can never coexist together. How did we get here? How did we get here? We were deceived with one Nigeria. The Igbos, being a very hard-working man, worked hard to see that one Nigeria came. Awolowo did the same thing, and he even paid the price for one Nigeria. But our northern counterparts, they never believed in one Nigeria. You see where the problem lies? So, it didn't start today. It didn't start today. The only solution to the zoo problem is total disintegration of the zoo. We cannot coexist together. We may have a business relationship, but our values are different. Our clothing is different. Our belief is different. Our moral standards are different. And this is what Simon Ekpa calls dangerous diversity.
Let me bring it to this point now. I'm just reading what Biafran Foreign Legion wrote here. And of course, we are looking at how much we'll be able to deal with this situation and entertain minimal casualty or casualties. He said how we will win with minimal casualties is to forget about a defensive posture and go all out offensive. Let me stop because we're going to be rounding off now. I'm going to ask two questions from this.
That's a very crucial question.
Yes, it's a very crucial question in the sense that
it's a very crucial question.
Yes.
How will we move from defensive to offensive? What are these people? What are the Fulanis? The terrorists, where are they staying? Where are they residing in our land? They're in the bush, aren't they?
I'm thinking that we are offensively defensive now.
Right. The Fulanis are in the bush. You want to go offensive, don't you? You want to go offensive.
Yes.
So I'm asking you, where is the threat? The threat is in our forest, isn't it?
Very well. Very well.
That's where the threat is. Even in Yoruba land, that's where the threat is. It's not on the streets. So then what do we do?
So now the big question now, because I want to bring something into his mind. He's referring to 1960s Biafra. Biafra took a defensive posture, and Nigeria was able to mobilize men and materials. Now, in this regard, now the war, as at that time, was a full-fledged one against Biafra. It was a formal declaration of war, and they came all out. But now this is in a guise of, they tell you they're carrying such kind of exercise, Operation Dawn, Operation this, Operation that, and they use it as a guise of exterminating the people. And now, which means that what we need to do now is to be offensively defensive in this regard. So the difference here now would determine what, because he's talking about coming all out offensive, like we declare a war offensively. Even if they have declared a war, we should now come all out like declaring a war and coming out. But of course, we should consider that we don't have the instruments or the weapons as they would have. Yes, but the strategy here is to be defensively offensive in the sense that we defend our communities and then at the same time begin to go after them where they are hiding.
That is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
Forget about these ones that are in army uniforms and coming in trucks and armored cars. Those ones can be easily dealt with. The ones we should be worried about as Biafrans are the ones in the forest. These are the ones we should be worried about.
Very well.
Now, I said, where are they? They are in the forest. Yeah? And we have hunters, don't we? We have people that go out to hunt, elephants and, big animals and, and bring them down for meat. And how do you hunt an animal? You spy. You spy without making noise. You meander into the forest. You know the allocation. You take photographs. You know where the ammunitions are. You know everything. And then you come back and give it to ESN. And then ESN will go and launch the offensive. We need to get these people from the forest. We need to get them in the forest before they come to the streets. Before they come to the cities. We should be hunting them now in our forest.
You brought the concept of hunting. The way we hunt Ewi.
Exactly. Because
they are in the bushes. That means they are in the just like the animals are in the bushes, in the
bushes. It's still in the
Okay. So that's the tactic.
And deal with them in the bush. We won't allow them to come out in the cities. We don't want our streets to be stained with blood. Rather, let their blood be sacrificed in our bushes. And that is where we should start the offensive now. With the little ammunitions we have.
So which means our people in the communities should not wait, because some of them will just say, government, come and help us. So ESN, where are you? They are not doing anything. They are asking for ESN. They are asking for government. Which government? The one that is killing you. Which ESN? The one that you are fighting.
Exactly. I mean, look at what happened in Anambra State. People were given, they conspired against ESN, and then they drove ESN away, and Fulani came to kill them. I mean, that should be a very big lesson. Any Biafran making a Fulani man, taking a Fulani man as a friend, it's an idiot. It's an idiot. How long are you going to be dealt with before you learn a lesson? How long are we going to be dealt with before we actually learn our lesson? As far as I'm concerned, I don't want to have any business to do with Fulani. Because these are not human beings. Which human being will take a machete and butcher somebody to pieces unprovoked? Unprovoked. Not in any physical combat. Unprovoked, completely unprovoked. If if you're in a fight with somebody and the person uses a machete to kill you, you're fighting, then that is different. You just went to your farm to look for what you and your children and your family is going to eat, and some insane man comes there with a machete and butcher you to pieces unprovoked. And these are the people you want to live together with.
Now, there's something that Taproot said here. He said, "Sir, I think I should make a pointer. They're only in the bushes when they want to strike. They all live in the military barracks. After every operation they move to the barracks." What do you think about that?
It's a few of them that is in the barracks.
Yeah.
To the best of my knowledge, majority of them are in the bushes. Go to Yoruba land now, they full it. I mean, someone was given areas where they are now have infiltrated Yoruba land. They're not in the barracks, they're in the bushes. The ones are in the barracks are their special squads. But what the Alamajuris from Chad and everywhere, they're all in the bushes.
That's right.
And that's where we need to go and deal with them.
Even in their communities where they have their regular people living, some of them hide in those places too.
Of course, even in the mosque, there's a mosque all over the place in Igbo land.
Yes.
We don't know what is in the mosque.
Yes.
In fact, the mosque is a far more dangerous ground for the Biafrans than the barracks. So that is how we have to do it. Defense and offend. Defend and go offensive.
Yes. So you have actually said a lot here. I think we're going to adjourn. We're going to adjourn because we are going to recuperate, and then come back next week. I hope you would have the time for us next week because there's so many things. Looking at the time here, 1:47.
No problems, Brother Kelechi.
Yes,
Biafra runs in my blood, and anything I can do to see that Biafra comes, I will do that. Yeah,
definitely. Thank you, sir.
It's always a pleasure to appear in your programs. It's always a pleasure to share my experience with Biafrans. I know that times are difficult. Things are difficult at this particular point in time, but all Biafrans should take courage of the fact that this struggle is now in the hand of Biafrans that can never be bribed. Who are you going to bribe? Who are you going to bribe? Is it you that Fulani is going to bribe? Is it Simon Ekpa that they're going to bribe? Is it Madame Azuka that they're going to bribe? Is it Pastor Livingston? Who? So this struggle now is in the hand of people with integrity. People who don't even want to gain anything after we have restored Biafra. They're not after any position. All they want is, let Biafra come. And Biafra will come.
He said,
you lot have seen how betrayal have set us back. You lot have seen how our leader that have lost everything in this struggle was even betrayed for him to lose his life. We've seen all the lies, all the cover-ups. Even those who call themselves the erudite son, erudite barrister. You see them lying like my 2-year-old grandson. With all the education. Lying, unable to maintain a statement.
Even in one interview at the same time.
Even in one interview, probably 1.5 hour, 2 hours interview.
Yes.
There was no consistency.
No consistency.
Nothing. Let us learn our lessons, my brothers and sisters, from what is happening to us. We need to put a stop to all this.
Mm.
You see, 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. It says you can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth.
That's it. 2 Corinthians, okay? 13. Yeah.
You can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Let us stop the truth. Let us live by the truth. Even towards our own detriment. Let us live by the truth. Enough of this betrayal of each other. Let us begin to behave like intelligent, educated, successful people. When I look at the betrayals in these few months, just these few months, it's just like that case of Julius Caesar and Brutus and Longinus in Macbeth. Betrayed by a best friend.
Yes.
Betrayed by a best friend. And people are still living it out today. My God. My God. I can see some people committing suicide. Honestly. Because of what they have done. Thank you very much, Kelechi. And thank you very much, Biafrans. It's always a pleasure speaking to you guys, and hopefully we'll do it again next week.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
We hope to have you. We appreciate you. Biafrans love you, and we say thank you for being
Thank
here
you so
today
much.
and spending your time. We hope to have more
Thank
time
you.
next week, and we're going to talk critical things.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And God bless
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Say with you. Thank you. Yes. Now,
Bye-bye.
Biafrans, you've heard it. You've heard a lot from him. I mean, these are serious and very, 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 very critical things that he has pointed out here. And of course, John Almeida, in fact, you have done a great job here. You have said things to note today. Biafrans, start speaking to your President General. Commanders on ground should be updated on many tactics mentioned. Yeah, very critical. These are the things that should happen. We should start speaking to our President Generals. Make sure that they are in line with freedom. You cannot put people who are not interested in your freedom, who are sponsoring your killings. You cannot allow them to continue as your President Generals. You must begin to make inquiries. Those of you abroad now, you must begin to call the village, telling the people, search out, find out, gather your people, tell them to gather themselves, go and meet the President General, or find out if the President General of that community is actually pro-Biafra. If he's not pro-Biafra, there should be a revolt. They should revolt and remove him, or institute somebody by force who is going to take. They must be radical now, or else your necks will be off your head. That is what is happening. So if you don't go radical now, we are trying to see that we have less casualties as we move. This is 99 days to our freedom. To actually have less casualties, we must begin to take the freedom mandate in our hands. It is not going to be in anybody's hand. Nobody would defend your community like you would defend it. ESN can do their job, but you can defend your community because it is your community. And the first way to do it is to make sure that those people who are parading themselves as your leaders are actually interested in your safety, in your security, in your protection, and in your interest, having your interest in heart. When you discover, because as a community, you must know your people and how they behave. From their behaviors, from their utterances, from their body language, you would know if these people are concerned about your freedom. So every community now, those of you abroad, begin to contact them in the village, contact them in your communities, tell them to begin to now come together to see if this president general or that person who is commanding or leading everywhere is truly standing for them. If he's standing for them, they should now begin to take the ideas here, the concepts here, preferred here, and of course, what I said yesterday, go back and listen to yesterday's broadcast on Why Africa and get the details of the information that we have preferred here, which our guests also have preferred on this hallowed platform, and then get your president generals and everybody to begin to utilize these ideas and save your community. We cannot imagine you losing your community. Neither can we ever imagine that Fulani will overrun your community because you are dormant, static, stational, daft, and a buffoon. You must begin to do. We are not cowards. Biafrans are never known to be cowardly or cowards. We should begin to do what we have to do right now. We want to thank Pastor Ike for giving us this great, exposition, especially that area. Thank God for John Almeida. He has pointed it out. This is what we should do. But when it's talked about hunting the Fulanis, like we hunt animals, like we hunt ewi, those of you have eaten ewi before. The way you hunt ewi, you wake up very early, go and set the trap, smoke them out of the hole, stay quietly somewhere, waiting with your match. Go and begin to hunt these people. They are in your forest. Your forest does not belong to them. Your forest belongs to you. You must begin to hunt them by taking charge of your forest. Hunt them like you hunt ewi. If you cannot remember hunting, remember how you chase that ewi, that animal, into their holes. Remember, these Fulanis, that forest is not even theirs. So if you have the courage to go and hunt ewi that is in your farmland, smoke them out. The same way Fulanis have entered your farmland. They have entered your farm. They are just ewi. See them as that ewi and hunt them out of that place. Hunt them. There are strategies to hunt them, no matter what they are carrying, no matter the weapons. In fact, the weapons of the invader cannot overwhelm the weapons of a community, because the invader is always few. The community is always massive and more. The strategy of the invader can only get at few, but they will be exhausted. How many bullets do they have? By the time you make them waste that bullet, by making them, by where you are hiding, you throw some things that they are shooting everywhere. They are not seeing anybody, but they are shooting. As they are shooting, they are wasting their bullets. By the time they shoot the last one and the bullet is finished, what else would they do? Then you come all out and capture them. But you must do something that will make them begin to waste their bullet, because they don't know now where the attack is coming from. So they are scared. They want to scare everybody. They want to be shooting everywhere. They must do that because fear is in their body. They know that they are in the midst of people who own the property, who own the community. Make them waste their bullets. Devise a strategy. Make them waste their bullets. By the time they waste their bullets, you have surrounded them already. Because from their entrance, you know their entrance. You have blocked everywhere. Then they waste their bullets. Then when they finish wasting their bullets, you now come all out. Pick them on. Take their weapons. And eliminate them. There's no it's not anybody who comes to kill you is worthy of death. We're going to talk more on all of these strategies as time goes on, and our guest will be here next week Saturday, 1 p.m. Biafra time, to still talk about these matters. Thank you, Wunne, for sending and blessing our pastor. Thank you so much. John Almeida says, being in charge of all communities, the governors will be zero. That's it. When the communities take charge, what will the governors do? How? What will they do? So thank you all for being part of this. We want to appreciate you. We already have 2 hours here. It's been a great time. Thank you all. Tomorrow is the back to base. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at the scripture where we have lots of people who actually begin to make other people their enemies because they have their own impression about God. Tomorrow we're going to be continuing the teaching on God, Elohim, and we're going to be looking critically on that. We're going to have about 1 hour, 30 minutes to 2 hours discussion, and tomorrow is going to be wonderful. I want to appreciate you for being part of this. On Monday, we're going to have the Mind Surgery Show. And of course, on the Mind Surgery Show, we're going to be looking at money. Let's talk about money. That's going to be the topic. Let's talk about money so that you can see the place of money in achieving what you have to achieve, the place of money in the hands of betrayers, so that you can understand the value of what you carry, that you are disregarding and the enemies are using against you. The Fulanis today have so much money. In fact, the government of Nigeria gave them over $21 billion. not to talk about the ones they have been given after that 21 billion, the ones that have been given out. So aside that one they have been given out, there are still the ones that that this same money, we also can understand the strength of this money to be able to use them effectively for what we're supposed to do. Thank you so much for being here. A call is coming on. Please, if you are calling, you're not supposed to call. It's not supposed to be a video call. It's supposed to be an audio call. So when you want to call, you call on audio and not video. And please, we are not doing a video call. We're doing an audio call. So if you want to speak to the program, you call on audio, and then we have you here. And please, so whoever wants to call, make an audio call. Thank you so much, because to be an audio call, the people are not supposed to see you. So thank you for calling on audio, and thank you so much. You are live on the program. You are live on the program. Please go on with your submission. You are live on Biafra Global Network. Welcome to the program.
I think I was thinking you are live now.
Oh yes. Is this I'm not seeing the name now. I'm not seeing. Okay, it's you. Okay, so do you want to speak live or we talk later?
Are you coming later live?
No, we're still live. I'm still live here. You want to speak to the people?
Yeah, just to contribute.
All right. You are live. You are live on the program. You are live.
Brother said now.
All right, please go on.
I was so happy, so much happy about this thing that our brother suggested, our brother pastor suggested. I'm really glad. But the only situation now that I'm suggesting is we in abroad, we have families at home, and we autopilot that have decided that next year, by God's grace, this Biafra will come.
Okay.
It's not even coming. We will be liberated ourselves from Janja. We will be liberated, chase them away from Biafra land, because Biafra is already there.
Yes.
I was born during Biafra time, which means I'm a Biafran.
Yes.
I want to suggest that each one of us in abroad, let us make it mandatory to tell our brothers at home, our brothers at home, to put in practice all these lessons this our brother told us today. To put it under practice, because I remember one of my brothers at home here, always telling him about this Biafra thing. They accepted. But the problem they said that they are facing is people around them, the villagers in the community. Many of them follow the politicians, and they are only by 2 or 3 that this Biafra minded. They want Biafra now. But because of others that are the gang of the politicians, they don't know what to do. So I don't know. I just
now you see, in that regard.
Because,
okay, in that regard, let me say something towards that. About that now. In that regard, the truth about it is that everybody wants to be secure. Everybody knows that the Fulanis are the enemies and they are coming to kill. So rather than them going to preach Biafra, let them begin to get their community members to understand that these people have been killing in the community. Our community may be the next to attack, because in our bushes we have the Fulanis. Let them begin to talk about their security. Let them not talk about, because when you talk about your security, we are already talking about Biafra. So no need mention, since they are all about they are supporting the politicians and all of that, they should now begin to preach security, collective security. We will all die if we don't save ourselves. So on that premise, they will now begin to have the people say, yes, it's true, we have to save ourselves, or else Fulani will come and kill us. Then at that level, everybody will be interested in securing the community. So they don't need to start talking about the Biafra thing will come. We don't need to talk about them in our communities. We have those who are going to, the flags have been mounted. Nobody can stop Biafra. The ESN have been mandated to safeguard the borders. When we safeguard our borders, everybody inside of that territory, Biafra, will submit to Biafra. But in our communities now, let them begin to talk about their security. So those who are going to be talking about it now shouldn't be talking about let's get Biafra. They should be talking about let's secure our community. In that regard, everybody will begin to come together. They will know that, yes, if we don't do this, they are when they see videos of how they are killing other people in other communities, they will naturally come together to want to save themselves. Let them leave the issue of whether Biafra or no Biafra. we want to save ourselves. We must get rid of these Fulanis in our forest. Let's come together and secure ourselves. And then these messages can be passed to them, and then it will not solve it.
I'm today. I'm at home because I'm mourning my brother. One of my brother.
Oh, sorry about that.
My brother is being laying down to rest today.
Oh, my condolences. Sorry about
village
that.
Is my brother is the one that I'm saying. Even a day before yesterday, when these Enugu people are here, I called him, telling him because he's one of the security guys over there.
Oh,
I told him about it. He said, because of the whole community, there are more than 6-7 people died, and they are doing funeral this month. For that, next week, after all this burial, then I will sit him down through and talk to him so that we gather.
Very, very important.
We know how to prepare it of the village.
Very, very important.
It's a nice idea.
And so they should pass it on to other communities too. As they pass it on to their community, they pass it on to the other communities. Before you know this, the message will be spreading to all communities. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.
He said, many men are answering Obiama. It's my father gives me Obiama because he said Obiama, that's God's mercy.
Of course, of course. Wow.
For that, my father didn't name me Obiama, and in my family, that Obiama is the only one that they know. And Obiama is for the female and men.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Go ahead, Biafra.
Yes, so yes, Biafra will come and we'll all meet and rejoice. We'll all meet and rejoice. He said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." That's great from from that caller. Thank you all. Thank you all. We will appreciate your time and everything. Thanks for the good work you're doing, mates. Thank you. Ahaya. You made me remember this film where we have what's the name of that film now? Is it what was that old film where you talk about Maya? You know that space film. You know that we covered Maya. Noah Lane says, but you started at 12 p.m. No, I started at 1 p.m. Biafra time today, not 12. 1 p.m. Biafra time today. Check it out. 1 p.m. Biafra time. Check it out. It's 1 p.m. Biafra time. That's thank you, Brother Kelechi and Pastor Guest. General Maida, thank you for that. And also thank you for summing up the conversation today so that Biafrans will understand what they should take home. You know, Birikwa, my brother, Mazi Kelechi, I salute. Agbaugidi, it's a long time. Oh, love you, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And we have Okolo Michael says, Ndewo Mazi Kelechi. Thank you. Thank you. And Michael, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Please like and share. That's the only way this gospel can get to everyone. Okolo Michael says, so please let's like and share. We're already out of time. I didn't think that it was going to exceed 2 hours, but of course, when things like this have been discussed, we expect that sometimes we can exceed the time because what we are saying is very crucial to our collective interest. So please share this on all your social media platforms. Like this video. This is how we're going to disseminate. We're going to disseminate the truth, not decimate. Sorry, disseminate the truth. You know, send the truth all around to the people. If we don't take control of the media, the BBC and their cohorts will do what they did in 1967 by using the media to actually fight us. But if you share this kind of programs and make sure it goes everywhere, if you share it, I share it, and everybody's sharing it, we will dominate the media and the truth will be preached and people will know what it's all about and stand for the truth. It begins by you liking this video and then sharing and then subscribing to the channel so that the channel will receive a boost and then it will be able to reach out to people. Thank you all. I appreciate you all for your time. I want to thank you all who have sent messages. I want to thank you all who viewed and all of that. I want to thank you all for what you're doing. I want to say that can bless you. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Stay secure so that you would be part of those who will celebrate Biafra as it comes. and then we are going to celebrate like what I'm going to play to you now, the time of rejoicing, when we are going to gather like this, of what I want to play right now. We're going to gather like this, and we're going to scream for joy, and Mazen Namikano will raise his hands up with Simon Ekpa. They will lift it up to heaven, and they'll say, wow, Chukwokike has done this for us. And together we will scream, rejoice on the streets of Biafra, and in our capital, we are going to rejoice and say, Chukwokike, thank you for this time. Please stay safe, stay secure, watch the video, and see how we're going to celebrate together.